Demon, also known as God Told Me To, is a 1976 psychological thriller directed by Larry Cohen and starring Tony Lo Bianco, Deborah Raffin, Sandy Dennis, Richard Lynch, Mason Adams, and Sylvia Sydney. The film opens with pollution. Apparently there's a sniper plugging people in the streets.
At 12:24 p.m., the police helicopter patrol pinpointed the sniper as being perched on top of the water tower and the Haskell Publications building.
Doing this actually saves time and pushes the story forward, so I guess it's positive exposition. Detective Peter is on the scene to have a little discussion with the perp.
I don't believe my son had anything to do with this. He was a very good student. I mean, he couldn't possibly have killed all those people.
How in the hell did they find out who the shooter was so fast?
At that distance, people have told me that it is physically impossible.
It's the magic bullet theory!
I'm 34 years old. How old are you, Harold?
I'll be 22 the 7th of July.
Bullshit.
Can you tell me why you did this?
Yes. God told me to.
I would say title alert, but when this ran on USA Up All Night, it was called Demon, so fuck it. Wow, that was some distance. He wakes up next to his lady Casey, who tries to make a phone call, but this immature asshole gives her a wet willy. Look at that view. Back when people could afford to live in Manhattan.
How his aim could be so accurate. It was one of those old mail-order rifles. I wonder what guided his hand.
Probably Cubans. Mafia. Our own government.
I'm driving out to Hempstead to see Martha.
Why did you say that name? It turns out that Peter is still married to his wife, but his faith won't allow him to get a divorce, and he wants to keep things just the way they are.
That's fine with me. But what will your girl do when she finds out? Aren't you afraid that she'll leave you? It happened before.
What? We then go to the hospital to talk to a guy that went to a market and started stabbing people.
Why did you attack all those people? Why did you pick up the knife? God told me to.
Nope, not gonna say it. This guy then calls the department with an anonymous tip about a cop that is going to start shooting people during the St. Patrick's Day parade. Peter wants to delay the parade.
Nicholas, stay here. The Irish have waited all year for this day. You are not going to ruin it for them. You got that?
What? Okay, fuck public safety. Everything's good to go until Andy Kaufman starts shooting into the review stand. Then all hell breaks loose. But at least the Irish got their fucking parade. Thank you very much.
God told me to.
I'm not gonna do it. They discover that Laka had talked to a young man earlier.
A young man with a shoulder-length hair, blonde.
People like that got no business in here. Look, they try to come in and use the toilets. They shoot up. We keep the toilets, all of them, locked.
That's profiling. It turns out this young man was also talking to the sniper and the market stabber.
Well, my boy, he didn't hang around those types. That's why I remember this one particular boy.
The sniper's mother only looks 3 years older than the sniper himself. Peter finds out that the young man's name is Bernard Phillips and gets an address. Travis, Wizard, and Doughboy probably sat at that same lunch table the night before. Peter stops by Mom's place. Oh shit! I guess something happened. God must not have given him enough money for the lighting budget. I knew a couple who tried that bullshit line in high school. Nice try, Laushy. Then we get this info from the Smuckers guy.
I truly could not tell whether that child was a male or female. It was as if the sexual gender had not yet been determined.
So he's a Ken doll. We keep the ball rolling by questioning this guy who murdered his entire family.
I told her that Jerry and Mommy were all right. The gun was a toy. It was all in fun, and if she came out, I'd let her play with it. She was laughing. I was laughing when I shot her.
Jesus, that's some dark shit. So here's some light police brutality.
But when you looked into it, you found it was their stepfather or their high school teacher or someone else in authority that slipped it to them. Girls have wonderful imaginations, Pete.
Yeah.
There's that 1970s sensitivity that we all know and love. Peter learns of a case from back in the 1950s about Mrs. Phillips down in Jersey and goes to the trooper that found her.
Hell, if I'd been her husband, I would have beat the tar out of her. She was hysterical. I almost didn't take her into the car. Oh, not that I didn't play around from time to time, but... And she didn't look seductive, you know what I mean?
What? There's a flashback featuring Truman-era nudity and this story.
It was as large as a house, what? But it didn't set on the ground, it hovered. Huh? And they raised me up and I floated up into it. Then they took all my clothing away, but they were very gentle. But I couldn't see them. Yeah. Nothing, except a single light that blinded me.
Sure, okay.
What? Aliens? What the fuck? Then she flees not only from the alien religious things, but also the police officer sex predator. Peter then talks a science reporter into printing a story about the God Made Me Do It movement. Casey gets called before a tribunal and we learn that Peter was adopted.
You know he was a foster child from the Catholic Children's Home. The Nicholas family took him in when he was only a baby. So Peter felt he owed it to them.
He goes to church a lot, doesn't he? I mean, not just on Sundays.
This is beginning to sound like an inquisition.
Nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition. I don't think where this questioning's going is quite legal. Then the story breaks and all hell breaks loose. Here's a small subplot to address later about murdering a dirty cop and using the local ruckus as cover.
First it's God, then it isn't, huh?
I'm just saying it should be looked into.
Get off my back.
Aren't you his boss?
I'm convinced that the man who's in touch with us is everything that he claims to be.
Yes, he's proven his control over any number of human beings.
So are these guys talking to God or aliens? And whoever Big Man is wants Peter to join in. He gets picked up by one of the dudes. God damn, I love 1970s New York City. They go back and forth for a bit, then when Jersey is mentioned, a dude goes into vapor lock and gets his ass beat. Peter heads to the subway and avoids an attempted murder by another zealot who takes him to the big guy. That's a splitting headache. They meet in the basement and whoever this is may very well be what's in the briefcase in Pulp Fiction. Peter realizes that he's different as Enya plays. Then passes out and winds up in a room of flame. Wanting to know the truth, he goes to the church and tries to get his adoption records.
Well, the child would be a grown man by now.
Oh, yes.
I don't see how it could do any harm, could it?
70s privacy laws. He discovers his mom is Elizabeth Bullen, who's in this wonderful home.
Yes. You didn't tell her I was coming?
Well, there's no need to. I mean, she's not going anywhere. None of them are.
Way to be sensitive, bitch. Peter enters the room and it's Juno! There's another flashback, and this sure as hell looks like fucking aliens.
What are you going to do to me now?
Oh, please.
Haven't you hurt me enough? I was never the same after what you did to me.
He didn't really do anything to you. Then they have a who had it worse contest.
Why me? I never hurt anyone in my whole life. Why do you have to hurt me now?
Don't you see? What happened to you is over after I was born. What's happening to me is just beginning.
The staff shows up and Peter says, I've got to get the fuck out of here. Okay, I'm not going down these stairs after you. As if that scene wasn't awkward enough for you. Peter hasn't been home in days and the conversation goes to their lack of children.
I'm alone. Sometimes I sit here and wonder, who did I live with all those years?
An asshole. You know, this scene isn't awkward enough, so... He tells his wife goodbye, and I'm sure he'll be just as tender with Casey.
There's nothing left. You just see. Look at me. Look at me!
It'll be okay. She's going to end up in a relationship with Charles Bronson in Death Wish 3.
Come on!
Peter goes to a pool hall for this Otis Day moment and confronts Zero about killing the cop. You missed. Then he makes Zero kill a couple of dudes, then himself. He goes to an abandoned building and discovers Richard Hatch!
Why did they put the both of us here? We were not like them. So they tried again. If there are others, they'll be like me.
I still don't know if they're gods or alien spawn or what.
I can bear your child. Together we could start a new species.
Wait, what? That's lovely. They slap each other around until the building starts to collapse and Peter hauls ass out of there. Peter gets arrested for... killing Bernard.
The reasons for performing this atrocious murder against a 24-year-old boy?
God told me to.
Alright, Tyler, whatever. Demon really wasn't that bad. Released during the height of the religious horror era. Is it really religious horror? There's still a case that could be made that it was aliens. It's hard to pinpoint what exactly is going on, but it's that twist that makes this film interesting. I've watched a lot of low-budget movies, and they usually try to pad things out to make that running time. But with Demon, there is no waste. Everything in the film ends up serving a purpose, and if they're able to streamline it, they go for it. It's a pretty good psychological thriller that I dare say was a little bit ahead of its time.
You know, Miss Simmons down the hall, she never has either. She's almost 80. I guess we're the only two virgins left.